So we're going to work out the kinks, hopefully, and get this thing going. I'm working on a, you know what? Forget this camera. I'm going to send this back to Amazon. That thing, more technology, more problems. There we go. I'm going to prop it up against an old motor. Um, all right. So working on a couple templates with scrap of hickory. We got this guy here. I don't know who made this hatchet. It's a nice, I'd call it maybe a house axe pattern. Look at that. That's pretty decent pattern. And I'm gonna get it cut up into another hatchet handle. Now this hickory, I'd say this is all right. As far as hickory goes, board hickory right off the shelf. Kurt, what's up, dude? I'm working on a few things, man. I'm making some templates. I'm carving some stuff. How you doing, Kurt? How's the weather in Australia? So, making an Adirondack pattern using for this is one of my Osage orange handles that I'm using kind of the bottom half and then a double bit. An Adirondack handle, it's going to be curved. I'm going to grab it, making a template here. So, this is hopefully what it's going to look like after everything's said and done. It's going to look like that. This is going to be my plywood template. I am Kurt. I don't know if um, I mentioned on the channel before, but sitting in the bush having morning tea, just did a load of firewood with the old 261. Wow, that sounds amazing. The weather where I'm at has been stormy and wet and just like not pleasant. We had hail yesterday. We had just crazy hail. Now, this reminds me, I got to check one thing. Um, do I have a double bit eye handy? I need to grab a double bit to make sure that my template is going to be long enough. All right. So maybe I'll take you over to so we don't have a dead screen here. I'm in my garage. I got, check this out. We've got some Osage orange, which I wonder about Osage orange, Kurt, compared to um, like the gum trees that you have in Australia, because I think Osage orange is like the densest, heaviest wood that we have in the US. And I've never worked with any gum tree handles. I've always wanted to try that out. I'm just dying to. One of these days, I'm going to pay shipping to have one of them sent from Australia to me. It's just like I'm so curious at this point. I just got to do it. It's a beautiful winter's day here, about 21 degrees Celsius. That's incredible. Um, Sounds just beautiful, just beautiful. Let me get you. I got you against the Baldor motor here. All right, so check this out, Kurt. We got a Dunlap here. This is a 4-pound Dunlap. The light here is just terrible, but you can see the 4 stamped in there. Nice heavy double bit, and we've got. Oh, just lost my pencil. Let's see. Two and a half, two and three quarters. So let's see. As long as I got 2 3/4 on the, yeah, we got 2 3/4. But I'm gonna cut on the outside of my line here. I'm gonna cut on the outside of my line there, so we can get enough space. I'm making a Franken axe. I'm combining the bottom half of this Osage orange. This is one of my hand carved handles, and then the top of a double bit. So I like Adirondack patterns a lot. I've got an Adirondack Swamper pattern made by Grants Forest Brookback. Osage orange strikes me as very similar to some of our gums. The wood is just called white mahogany. Interesting. That sounds really interesting. Australia is so cool, man. White mahogany. That's man. Kurt, I just found out about a company that makes axe handles there in Australia. They do amazing work. I can't remember the name. I thought of you immediately when I saw this. Um, Man, they were just turning out. They had one of those Italian copy lathes, one of those duplicators. What's up, Trackstar 2222? What's up, dude? So we're gonna make a couple of patterns here, and I'm hoping to start hand carving some of these axe handles and selling a few of them. Um, so we'll see. I don't know. And then I need I've got a bushcraft pattern I really like. I've got a full size axe pattern I really like. I want to make a double bit pattern. I'm just trying to figure all this stuff out. This is going to be kind of like a house axe hatchet style pattern, making this one out of hickory. So we're gonna see what we can get here. Just gonna trace this out. Now the key, I think, anyways, to carving an axe handle or even cutting one out is to not dump your stuff all over the floor, is to mark the shoulder lines. Okay, you see how I've got the basic axe handle pattern there. I want to define my shoulder. Okay, so here is so here is the shoulder. Right now, I can just go straight up. And how much do I want to go up? You basically measure the thickness of. And actually, hold on a second here. Did I get that? No, that is right. There we go. That's okay. You want to get the thickness or the length of your head in there, and I'm going to go a little bit taller, and then we can carve our straight. Now, the thing about the eyes of these axe handles um, is they're straight up and down. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. You have sometimes an axe that will be tapered wider on the top this way than in addition to being tapered this way. But 90% of axes that I work with are only tapered. They're single tapered, drop forged axes. The thickness of the eyes, top to bottom, from front to back. I'm making this confusing as heck. It's the same. I don't know. I hope you know what I'm saying. Do you run track? No, I don't, but my wife did. She was very fast. She was a Big East champion for Notre Dame. She's very, very fast. Um, all right, so here's our pattern. We're gonna get this cut out on the lathe here. So on the lathe, golly, I don't know, the bandsaw. All right, here we go. Put on your ear protection. Mad collection of saws. Oh yeah, check this out. You know what, Kurt? Since you brought up one of my favorite topics, aside from axes, look at that. Check that out. I got. Let's see. Here we go. This is one of my favorites. This is a 5.5, or maybe it's 5. Yeah, 5.5. 5.5 TPI rip saw, applewood handle. Applewood is amazing. And then I've got a couple of real old, nice ones. That's another good rip saw. Let me find my two handle. Yeah, here we go. I got a whole bunch of two handled disc and rip saws. These are awesome. I love them so much. And I'm to the point where if I find, because I can pick them up for like $3 to $5, $3 to $5 at the local getting spots. I can get those old saws. I buy every single one that I can get my hands on. Um, yeah, so I love it. At some point, I want to start sharpening them up, restoring them, and selling them. Just because I like buying them, I like fixing them, I like working with them. But I'm to the point where I have enough of them that I can't just keep buying them. I'm making axe handles, so this is going to be a house axe handle, and then I'm making an Adirondack style template. So that's what we're doing. Boom! Check that out. I know it's loud. The bandsaw kind of sucks. Um, So the big trick that I've found with these handles is don't cut your don't cut your shit. Sorry. Don't cut your gosh, fawn's foot. Ah, good lord. Don't cut your fawn's foot. Um Now I can't upload this because I'm being a potty mouth. Um So here, I'm gonna get my other tripod, and then we're gonna carve this. We're gonna haft it. I feel like hafting something. So we're gonna clear off the bench, and we'll get her hafted. I gotta at some point. Well, you know what? Since I already got the dang saw out, let me just cut my Adirondack style pattern. Um, There we go. Let's see. And I'm trying. I got this new gimbal thing. I'm trying to step up my game, and I don't hear anything when you cut. I know it sucks. I hate that. If I could like mute it when I cut, because every time I do, it's like the view count just like tanks. But so let me cut my Adirondack pattern here, and then we will be done with the bandsaw. All right. All right. So here we go. This is an Adirondack, a car in the garage. That's my wife's car. Are you an axe collector? Yes, I have. I have the affliction. Um, car in the garage, definitely a collector. You know what? This is my first garage ever. And I actually earlier this year I changed the oil in a garage for the first time. For the first time, it was pretty great. I enjoyed it. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. All right. It was nice. It was nice. I'm spoiled. That's anyway, so here is the Adirondack pattern. This is going to be on a double bit. But you know what I forgot to get? I forgot to get um my spoke shave. This is just gonna be a live stream of me carrying you guys around my garage. But I'm done with the bandsaw. Never fear. This is what that Adirondack is going on. What's up, Matt? Uh, yeah, cool. All right. So, Kurt, you might like this if you're still here. Kurt, check this out. I got this old tool chest from a buddy of mine. Look at this. Look at that. This is pretty snazzy. He gave it to me. I paid him something, but look at that. Look at that. Isn't that nice? This was made probably about 1900. I got a couple of my saws in here. That's an old rip saw. I really like that rip saw. Now, if I could get it back in there. So that's one of my. Oh, and you know what? That wants to pinch. I got some adjusting to do on this old girl, but we've got this. That's what I need. This is my weapon of choice. 1900. Yes. It was made about 1900 in the year of our Lord. 1900. Um all right. Let's get that blower off there. So we're going to All right, got to get that axe head. Where did I put it? I thought it was over here. I'm pretty absent-minded right now. I feel like an old man walking with a stick. All right. Well, I might as well grab that. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna get this. I don't know. We might have this axe head is in there. Um, I'm just gonna give it a shot. See if I can't pop it out. Hillinger did a video once when he found one of those tool chests at an antique store. Oh man, I think I've seen that video. Didn't that just go like mega viral too? It just like exploded. Where's my hammer? Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm gonna grab my hammer. All right. Yeah, man, Kurt, I remember that video. I think I do anyways. That was so cool. This is a Cape chisel. This is kind of my one of my secret weapons. Oh, don't hit your hand. This wedge is nice and crusty, which is usually the best kind of wedge to get out. I gotta crank this down tighter. Here we go. Yeah, we gotta so look at all that's coming out of there. You can just get like whole chunks. I am rehafting this hatchet. Oh, there's a metal wedge in there. I didn't even see that. Man, I wonder if I could even get that. Oh, that'll come out. Yeah, 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 that's coming out. Yeah, it's coming out nice. I think I can get it now though. Got this awesome Craftsman set of vice grips. This thing is so cool. I got it for like $3 at a local tool shop. I can't quite get that step wedge there. There we go. You just knock it free of the wood, and I should be able to just grab it. We're just gonna grab it. Nope, can't quite. We'll pop her out. I'm surprised this actually isn't already out. It's in between two, you know what, two pieces of metal or wood. I'm just going to give myself a little bit of help there. Jump it up a bit. Golly, just one. Where's my smaller cape chisel? We got this little guy here. They can be so finicky, and I'm trying not to just destroy the handle. So what? There we go. There we go. That's what I was trying to do this whole dang time. Are you a construction worker? No, not right now, but I have done it. I've done a lot of different stuff. I've done a lot of blue collar stuff. I've done a lot of white collar stuff. I've done some of the most blue collar and some of the most white collar. And here I am in no collar. In no collar. Um, what I do is what you see me do. Is that kind of cryptic? Look at that. My favorite job, though, was working at a caseworks factory where I made cabinetry and milled lumber and did all kinds of other stuff. I really enjoyed that job. I think I was 19. Jason's history. What's up, dude? I enjoyed that job. If I could go back in time and work a few hours at that job again, I think I would. It's a great job. Then I've done drywall and all kinds of stuff. Um, let me show you guys one of my favorite possessions. This is pretty cool. Scott O'Brien, saw you in Ethical Acts chat. No way. Yeah. Yeah, Brian's great. Um, you might love this. If you love Brian, and axes, you'll love a lignum vitae mallet. Look at that. Lignum vitae. Oh, wow, that went down further than I thought. Nipped my finger. Um, I love lignum vitae. Let me see if I can kind of figure out how to. Actually, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. This is kind of the way that I've found works to get this pounded out. Yeah, man. So, um, Track Star, what's up? That's a fun name. It brings memories back from my wife running track. Oh, cherry is not the best for this because it splits. It's very weak. There we go. But um, what's nice about it is, when you're done with it, it's generally pretty well behaved. Pretty well behaved, he said, as he sticks it. There we go. Yeah. So who else do we have here? We got nine. We got nine people. Nine of my favorite people in the world. Yeah, look at that. So this is still a perfectly usable handle. In fact, I mean, gosh, I could rehang that on the. You know what? There we go. Mhm. There we go. This is really hung up. Don't hit your finger like I just did. All right, there we go. We got it out. Ethical. I'm a beginner, but trying to get better at making a real tight wedge. Mine still have issues seating perfectly. Is there anything you've learned along the way that could help? Yes. Yes. Where is it? Let me get it. I will show you one of my secrets. One of my This is closely kept knowledge. If the Axe fraternity knew that I disclosed this secret, they could expel me and bury me uh, in a wine cellar. Where's my Dremel tool? Get a Dremel tool, um, and really go after the bot. Use a comb bit and really go after. Yeah, yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, well, we're diehards. Me and Brian, we're diehards. We do the Axe stuff pretty seriously. We follow it very closely. I can't find my Dremel. I was just using it earlier today. Get yourself a Dremel tool and really round over the bottom of your eye. Okay, that's going to help you very, very much. Now, the other thing that will help you is to widen the kerf. Widening the kerf for an axe is absolutely critical. I mean, those kerfs so often are too small. So, like for instance, this is a really nice wide kerf. It's already been hung, and there's a little piece of metal still in there. But what I will do is I will double saw a kerf. Some axes have the kerfs cut with circular saws and they're wider. They're about an eighth inch or so wide. Others have been cut with a bandsaw, and those ones are too thin. Here it is. All right, so get you a Dremel with a cone bit. Bury you in a wine cellar. Yes, it is cask of Amontillado. Kurt, you are a well-read man, my friend. I appreciate that so much. I really do. I find guys that are into axes are filled with um filled with knowledge and interests, and there's a lot of depth to it. So I appreciate that. Get a Dremel, round over the bottom of your axe eye, and then double cut your curve. Brian, so I was asking you about axe patterns. This is one that I'm working on. This is an Adirondack that I don't know. We're gonna we're gonna see if I can make it anything. I want to give hand carving axes a go. So, here's kind of what you would here's kind of what you'd imagine, you know. Look at that. Adirondack axe handle. About 32 inches. Um, yeah, 32 inches. And yeah, so let's get this little guy hung here. Um, got a little piece of wood in the eye there, which I don't know. I'm gonna kind of try to. There we go. Just dig that out there a little bit. I'm not going to do much to this hatchet, to be honest. Look at that. Look at that profile. She's a house. She's a house axe. Make a lignum vitae handle. I would love to. Lignum vitae, though, is extremely hard to get these days. Extremely hard. And if I wanted a single piece mallet in lignum vitae like this, it would be, man. I first off, I'd have to buy the whole slab. I'd probably spend 500-600 bucks. Yes, the buck 110. And I got, ever since I feel kind of bad complaining about the price of bucks, Kurt, because I know it's 90 bucks in the US, but they're even more expensive. I know I hear guys from Canada talk about how expensive they are, and I can't imagine what they cost in Australia. Um, I just have found nothing that works for me like a buck 110. I mean, I really haven't. Wonderful. And this is the Magna Cut version of the knife. I paid like 200 and some dollars for this, like 240 bucks when I, you know, kind of had a little come up. I said, I've always wanted a nice custom buck. And so here it is. I've got buffalo horn scales, brass. I mean, there's nothing like that sound there. I love swords. Do you like them? Yes, I love swords. I really do. Are you gonna? Ah, man, I would love to, but I am way over budget. Are you gonna try the new Slim with Magna Cut? I would love to, but I, I am way over budget. I need to start getting some money coming the other way. you know, and if I can make that happen, if I can make that happen, I will. All right. So here's another, trick. I call it like a trick for carbon axe handles, right? So you find your middle. Yeah, I'm gonna rough out this axe handle. This pencil sucks. I got to put a new edge on it. So basically, if you want to draw a straight line, you put your fingernail of your middle finger on, and you just buzz it straight down. Brrr. Okay. All right. Boom. All right. We're gonna go from the top, and then we're gonna go. Brrr. All right. Okay, now here's where. Oh, thanks, Brian. Here's where I pass on the knowledge. And here are my. Gosh, I kind of went off to one side on that one. All right, okay. So you need a couple more lines, right? Scribing that acts like a drywaller. How did you know I was a drywaller? That's one of the actually. That's one of the most blue collar jobs I've ever had. Is I worked drywall, uh, not the whole years, but for 3 years when I was 19, 20, and 21. And it was some of the hardest work that I have ever done. But I mean, boy, it was great. All right, so oh, you know what we do? I work new construction, so after all I taped drywall, taped and finished. Um, we'd show up at this new house, no HVAC, nothing, oftentimes not even any electricity. And we'd tape up all the windows and just start sanding drywall, sanding mud. And, it's like you couldn't even wear a mask because like it would clog your mask immediately. So, all right, here's the next thing that you want to do. Give yourself two additional lines. Okay. Two additional lines on the back. Oh, there we go. There we go. Took me a second to find it. Okay. All right. On the back. And these are going to be important for a minute. And you want the ones on the back to be a little fatter and the ones on the front to be a little thinner. A little closer together, maybe is the right word. This is really going to help you shape this handle quickly, very, very quickly. All right. Because I'm trying to hand carve these axes and sell them, and I can't be spending 6 years, 14 business days. Eh, gosh darn it. I might have made this eye was a little bit bigger than I thought it was. I think it's going to be okay. I'm going to have like no room to spare. But if I put a nice big fat wedge in there, I think it's going to be just fine. All right. Flip your axe head upside down. when you are doing this, you want to be tracing the top of your axe head because that's bigger. All right. And the other thing you want to do is just kind of get a rough idea of where your depth needs to be. And this does not need to be exact because you're going to come in from beyond. Oop, I'm going to get a piece of leather in there so I can crank it without hurting that. We're going deep into the secret sauce here. What do you think about doing no center line? What do you mean? Like just doing it with like by eye? I mean, I guess if I've done it that way a lot. Um, but what I like about throwing a line on there is I can just get rough with it as long as I don't violate that line. I'm going to be okay, and I don't need to sight down anything. I it's just as long as that line is there, um, I'm okay. And man, I picked out some dense hickory. This stuff. Oh, hopefully I don't have tear out that's too bad. And my whole thing, now is just like efficiency. I just want to get faster at doing it because if I can do that, then I can, sell them at a reasonable price. Because the way I look at it is, I don't know how many axe handles I'm going to sell at $80 a pop. What region are you from? I'm from northern New England, and hickory costs an arm and a leg. I end up self harvesting ash. Hickory's cheap here. Hickory's real cheap because I'm in the Midwest. It's not quite as cheap as it is in the South, but if you're in Tennessee, hickory is everywhere. Hickory's a weed. Not quite a weed, but it's pretty cheap. What's up, M Bud? We're carving a hatchet handle here. What's expensive around here? I mean, walnut's expensive around here, but walnut's expensive everywhere. Um, Regionally, white oak is expensive here. But by and large, Wisconsin's a great state to live in for lumber. I ought to bring a truck down there and get a whole boatload. Yes. I mean, I wonder about that sometimes, like as far as like taking advantage of some of those arbitrage opportunities, you know, um, I've thought about it. I have thought about it. Uh, uh, yeah, it's actually not too shabby. Um, Let me see if I can trim that up a little bit there. I don't want to touch my front and back at all because I mismeasured my eye, and I'm like a whisker too short already. But I should be able to take it up with a nice thick wedge. I think a center line you can be more organized. Yeah, I think so too. Like a center line helps me. That's a crosscut saw, crosscut back saw. A lot of people call them tenon saws, but they're not really tenon saws. This is a tenon saw. It's a back saw. Joe, Oh, Joe. Oh, hey, Joe. What's up, dude? We're carving an axe handle, and I scared everybody away with the bandsaw. That's kind of a lesson learned. YouTube kind of was like, people hear the bandsaw and it's loud and it's just atrocious. So we're going old school here. I do have a bandsaw to do this, but we're going old school. Making a hickory handle here. We're gonna go down a ways. All right. And I'm putting some miles on this dang tripod. I heard back in the day their version of a break from using the crosscut saw was to switch over to the axe for the face cut. Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. Um, a change in occupation is as good as vacation, I think they say. All right. So as far as getting like a real good uh, wedge, um, I've I found um, as I have kind of figured out exactly, how to find my butt with two hands and a flashlight with axes. I was just fighting physics too much. I found if I am hammering the axe so much that I'm cracking it, um, like that's a problem. You shouldn't have to do that. So give yourself a nice big kerf. After you cut it with a back saw, come in with a big old aggressive rip saw and widen out that curve. Oh, come on now. There we go. All right. And check this out. Talking about putting miles on this dang tripod. We're gonna actually this is gonna be an urban lumberjack deep cut here. We're just spilling all the beans. Um, Crosscut saws are killer. I did a cut on 12-inch dried white mahogany a few years. Wow, took about 8 minutes. Brutal. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. So this is this. Gosh, I'm going the wrong dang way. This is one of the secrets. One of my secrets for getting a good fit on your axe. All right, so you're gonna clamp this bad boy, and you're gonna cut it again. Get your. I had these out of parallel. They call these parallel clamps for a reason. Here, I'm just gonna close it all the way up. So there we go. I can square it here. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So get that dang thing clamped pretty tight, and then you're gonna cut it again. All right. Good evening for. Oh wow, we have we have a wonderful group of people here today. So you're gonna try to cut. I'm just gonna open that up with my back saw here, and then I'm Brian. How are you, my friend? I'm double cutting it, and don't hit the screw of your clamp because they are not making any more of these. Yeah, a time hand tools benefits us. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like the hand tools. Okay, so now this kerf is not going to fight your wedge. Okay, let me grab a wedge, and all right, here's my wedge bucket. I got a nice big cherry wedge here. Look at that, and Oh, this one I actually need to trim a little bit. That one's fresh off the bandsaw. Here's a nice maple wedge. Okay, so look at that. Look at how this is a nice thick wedge, and this is it's not going to fight me, right? That's going to be so much easier. And you can even come in there with a knife or whatever and clear it out because I think there is some merit to just getting the junk out of there. Getting the junk. Oh, no way. Oh, Appalachian Axemen. We have the distinguished gentleman. The guys that I was talking about burying me up in the cask. In these are the paterfamilias of the axe community. So I'm working on a little template for an axe handle. Um, yeah, I don't know. I tell you what, every now and then, when I feel like being a bum, I just imagine. Uh, I imagine Misters Gent and Two Bears chopping big logs and having been at it for like 6 hours already. And I'm like, all right, gotta keep working, gotta keep moving forward. Um, so what I'm working on right now, guys, is an Adirondack template because I want to start carving some axe handles, and I don't know if there's a market for it. I suppose we'll see. But I mean, I'm such a bad businessman, you guys. Like, I will tell you, I do not enjoy the business side of things very much. I find, um, like, if I could just give all my stuff away for free, ooh, there's a lot to run out there. If I could just give all my stuff away for free, I definitely would. But that's not the world we live in. And I get very tired out dealing with unreasonable people. Um, and so I'm very, very weary with fear and trembling, with great trepidation. I'm kind of entering into selling some axe handles. Um, but so here's what I like about having a line there. Okay. And I just freehand drew that line. I can go just right to my line. I can get just mean and nasty with a spoke shave. With a spoke shave, I got that blade set down real low. And look at that. This is hickory. I'm to the line on the left. I'm to the line on the right. Granted, this is a hatchet, but look at how quick that was. Paperwork sucks. Give me an axe, shovel, or a crowbar. Oh man, Kurt, let me tell you about it. I've had jobs that were nothing but paperwork, and I hated it. I hated it. Like, and I'll tell you what, like, the thing is, too, people talk about the difference between white collar jobs and blue collar jobs. I have never been soul suckingly tired, worn out, just miserable with life from a blue collar job in that realm. I could load trucks all day. It could be 90 degrees. It could be humid. It could rain. But I just like it didn't like it was just different. Whereas I could come home from a job sitting at a desk all day, like never broke a sweat in air conditioning, and just that, uh, you know, like I have to do this again tomorrow. Like, yeah. So the one thing about these dang Lee Nielsen spoke shaves, they clog all the time. They were designed by a chairmaker named Brian Boggs, I think is his name. And the dang mouth on them is so small that I am constantly needing to unclog it, and I can't stand it. Actually, so here's the thing. There's a company called Jorgensen, Hangzhou Great Star Great Neck Industrial Limited, whatever. Bought Jorgensen, that old tool maker, and they make a flat spoke shave that is great, and it runs like $30. I like it better than this Lee Nielsen. Oh, you're an account manager for an insurance brokerage? Ah, I used to work with insurance guys all the time. My brother actually used to be an insurance broker. Um, yeah, insurance, man. I tell you what, insurance is like a hard and like people don't understand how hard, like not physically hard, but like mentally hard it is just to deal with all of it. Um, and it's kind of crazy. Only people who have worked both kinds of jobs really get me when I say that. Um, but dude, that axe that you made, holy cow. Um, oh my goodness. That's looking so good. That true American. Oh man. Yeah, and Mill Creek, I remember you mentioning you used to be a professional photographer. I got my degree from school was I was real smart. I got a journalism degree and I did photojournalism. I really liked photojournalism, but what I didn't consider carefully enough is that nobody was hiring press photographers anymore. So so I got out of journalism school and I got a job at a CBS affiliate. They offered me the job, and I said, "Great, when can I start?" And they said, "Well, you can start Monday." And by the way, the pay is $9.25 an hour. And at the time, I'd just gotten married, and my wife was like, "Uh oh, buddy, like you can't pay your student loans on that salary. You got to find something else to do." And so I did, and so I did find something else to do. But I love photography. I mean, I haven't touched it for like 10 years. Um, yeah. Oh well, Kurt, I don't know. Some people know what I do. I don't, or did do. I don't make it too public, but it's not like a secret or anything. If you're ever curious, Kurt, I think you're on Instagram, aren't you? We should connect. I think if I remember correct, you have an Instagram account, but I know not everybody is plugged into every Instagram account all the time. Calling people all day and filling out paperwork is not natural. We ought to settle. I swear to God, I'm only partially joking. We ought to we ought to bring back um limited like ordeals, like middle-aged ordeals, you know? Like it's like, "Hey, how big of an issue is this to you? Like, are you willing to like get popped in the nose?" Because if not, let's just forget about it. And I'm not saying like we put people on scales and see if they're lighter or heavier than a goose. But I mean, like, there's an element of like some businesses are just large enough that they can jerk you around knowing that statistically you won't put up a fuss, like you'll go away. And I've worked in some industries where, my job was putting up a fuss and it takes a toll on your soul. It just does. I enjoy building furniture and doing other stuff so much more, and honestly my wife is smart. Otherwise I couldn't be doing what I do. What is that saying about behind every furniture maker is a spouse with health insurance? Like, that's so true. Bring back dueling. I mean, seriously, like we oughta. I'm just saying, you know, um, God made man and Sam Colt made him equal. I'm not saying we necessarily need to use anything super, super deadly, but I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Just think about it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Um, yeah, so I don't know. The tough thing about this piece of hickory right here is the grain switch is halfway through it. Um, so here's kind of where we're at now. The reason you put your lines a little bit farther apart on the back is because you want that rounded teardrop shape, and you put them a little bit closer on the front because you want that teardrop to be out a little bit. Oh, that's right. That all right. And the other thing that I've found you really don't want to do is flatten out this space in the back. So you basically find your apex and don't carve that. Just leave it alone. People are rude in 2026. Oh, especially in insurance. Yeah, yeah. How many degrees of separation from muckraking is photojournalism? Well, photojournalism is actually some of the first muckraking that there ever was. The first muckraking was, I mean, Theodore Roosevelt popularized the term muckraking in the early 1900s because, basically he said, I think it was a quote from like Pilgrim's Progress. The muckrakers, all they do is they spend their time raking in the waste of the animals, and they don't look outside and see the beauty. And there was a point to Teddy Roosevelt saying that when he did, but muck raking actually was far older than that. In Victorian England, like just squalor. And the first time people could take pictures of the way that the slums were in Victorian England, that really exploded photojournalism. It really did. And showing people a picture has always been just incredibly powerful. Because you can write something, but that's a lot different than showing them something. But the problem with photojournalism is after the iPhone, people just decided they didn't want to pay for photography anymore. That was that. When I was in journalism school, the first the first cover photo of the New York Times was shot with an iPhone. It was a baseball player. I can't remember his name, but and that was kind of it, and then everything went freelance, and then newspapers didn't want to hire photographers anymore. They just wanted to buy your pictures, and you just can't really. And then the decline of newspapers generally. Um, like there are still plenty of photographers around, and it's still good money, but they've not at newspapers anymore. Renaissance man, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I have many interests. I have many interests. All right, so we're getting the back curved out here. So here's kind of the back, and now I can work on thinning. And I have lately really started paying attention to what we call the pocket. I call it the pocket. I don't know if anybody calls it that. Um, yeah, the muckraking. It is cool history because Teddy Roosevelt was kind of an interesting guy. The money is in portraits and weddings. Yeah, 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 yeah. Right. Exactly. Portraits and weddings. Yeah. Because like, how are you going to do that with AI? Like that's one thing that you're not going to be able to. But yeah, as far as like, there used to be guys that would fly around, um, taking pictures of like people's farms. That was a big thing to have for a while. It was like if you had a picture of your farm from the sky. And my grandpa was a photographer, and I don't think he could do what he did today. Definitely not. You know, Actually, one of his jobs, one of the more interesting things that he did was he would take pictures of accidents for the police department. Like if there was a car accident or something, and insurance companies. He'd take pictures of all that stuff. And so I think he had kind of a grisly job, just like you'd have to show up to the scene of a fatal accident and like take pictures of it. Um, yeah. So he did, but then he did other stuff too. He did the weddings and he did all kinds of stuff. It wasn't just unpleasantness. Oh, that grain, gosh, switches right there. Keeping a sharp spoke shave is really helpful. All right, so she's coming along. She's coming along. Oh, you've done aerial photographer? Nice. Oh yeah, drones. Yeah, drones came in and yeah, absolutely. I mean, nowadays it's like you don't need the airplane, and if you don't need the airplane, you don't need the pilot, and you don't need, to pay for hangar fees and maintenance and oh my god. Drones are cool. So we're gonna thin this down. And this is kind of like just how the sausage is made. I wasn't really planning on doing like a full in-depth thing, but now that I'm kind of into it, you know, this is just going to be the carving a hatchet handle live, I guess. And then many interesting discussions with learned and accomplished gentlemen. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I don't know if there's any market at all for like hand carved axe handles. Um, but I'm gonna find out. I suppose it's all price dependent, Like I know there's a lot of guys in the axe world that have offered me, I think, very reasonable advice that the price point should be, in the realm of like $80 or $90. But I'm just not. Do you? Yeah, this is a rounded spoke shave. Yeah, this is a um, convex spoke shave. Yeah, convex spoke shave. I do have the flat spoke shave from Lee Nielsen too, but for axe handles, I really like I really like the convex because I can do the whole handle. The whole hand. Gonna thin that out there. Oh, and then the grain switches over here because of course it does. Because of course it does. Yeah. Oh, no way. Take pictures. Dude, Kurt, that would be perfect for you too. Australia is so. I mean, I remember reading National Geographic when I was a kid. I was super into National Geographic. My parents, oh, I lost that. My parents bought me a um a hard drive that has every National Geographic issue printed. And they still employ a good number of photographers. Um, I mean, it's good business if you can get it. It really is. The photographers that are working right now are so good at what they do. Oof, so good at what they do. I think in a lot of ways, like what all this tech stuff is doing, is it just means that nobody can be kind of a semi-pro anymore. Nobody can be an amateur. Like you got to be so good at what you do because only the best will survive. I mean, it's kind of like knife making. Um, Kind of like knife making. There's no like middle quality knife makers anymore. They're all phenomenal. Um, Axe handles too. I think axe handles. That's a space where the guys doing custom axe work are so good at what they do. It's like crazy. So it's a very intimidating area to enter into. It really is. Um, so is that going to be? Is this sound awful to listen to? But this is like one of my favorite techniques for just like getting a look at the axe handle, seeing where I need to take it down. Glyphosate? Oh my goodness. Yeah, glyphosate's horrible here. I two things happened to me recently. Two things happened to me that kind of just messed with me mentally, you know. I went to a timber framing class in the driftless region of Wisconsin, which they call it the driftless because the snow drifts, the glaciers never made it to this part of Wisconsin. It's right along the Minnesota Wisconsin border. Amazing area, just incredible. Well, this farm that I was at, this church actually, it's a church, not a farm, that I was at, on the bathroom, they had a sign that said, "This water has tested so high for nitrates that you cannot drink it. It will give you cancer." Um, and I just thought, what? Like we have poisoned the water to the grounds to the extent that you can't drink the water. Like, that's not great. Not great. It really isn't. And the other thing was I was looking at the amortization schedule for my house. And I thought, oh, this is like my entire life right here on this dang piece of paper. I'll be nearly 70 by the time this house is paid off if I don't make some principal payments early on. It was pretty wild. The guy that invented glyphosate lives 2 miles from me. Really? That's crazy. Um, wow. Amazing. Wow. I wonder if it's anything to do there's like because of these headphones. I'm not using any bandsaws or anything. Does this change it? Does that change it at all? Can you hear him now? It's like living near Oppenheimer. Yeah, it sure is. Oppenheimer. What an interesting guy. I was at a 4th of July parade last year where one of the floats was run by the guy that invented the process to make sliced cheese and like wrap it in plastic. He patented it. Oh, better voice with the headphones. That's probably, yeah, thank you. Yeah. So I'll leave that on. Yeah. So, anyways, he patented the process to make like sliced cheese and wrap it so it didn't stick together and just made a bajillion dollars. So, I don't know. Some people just, I mean, that's like generational wealth. It's wild how you just got to invent something silly. In my lifetime, I've known a couple people that made generational wealth. One guy, his dad invented the twist top on Gatorade bottles and sold the patent to Gatorade and just made like buku buku money, lots of money. Like his no nobody has to worry about a mortgage or student loans again. Just everybody's rich because of that. Yeah, there seems no delay now. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Gosh, yeah. I don't know. I got to figure out the sound thing. Maybe I got to get a mic or something. I've tried microphones and every one that I try breaks. Actually, Chris Killinger sent me a mic for my GoPro, which works really well. But of course, I can't use the GoPro when I'm um, on live. Yeah, so I think that's actually kind of decent enough to throw. Oop, here's the old handle, and this old handle is actually perfectly usable. Here's the new handle, which I've made some changes. Um, it's still a little thicker than I'd like, but we're gonna give it a shot. Uh, we're a little bit thick on the tongue there. I think I need to pick that down a little bit. Yeah. What is that saying from Robert Frost? Not that saying, but the poem. They had no way of knowing if he were a fool except how he half and acts. Be nice to me. No. The guy still gets paid on every ounce of glyphosate made. That's blood money. Blood money. I don't know if I could live with myself knowing that I'd invented something like glyphosate. You know how they do cover crops? You know how gnarly this is, cover crops? Like you'd think, oh, it's so environmentally friendly to plant a cover crop, and sometimes it is, but um, what you do is you plant some fast growing, usually nitrogen rich, crop, and after you're ready to plant your beans or your soy or your corn, they spray glyphosate all over the entire field. The entire field. And so it's like, wow, just horrendous. And they spray a lot of it. So, because the guy selling it gets paid by the ounce too, not really, but he gets paid by the volume that he sells to the farmer. And then the guy spraying it gets paid by the amount that he sprays. And the farmer doesn't really care because most farmers don't live on their land anymore, which is the real sad things. Like if you look at a plat map, yeah, winter wheat or rye. Yeah, that's right. Usually winter wheat in Wisconsin. Um, uh, want one of those big wood mallets? Let me show you some big wood mallets. I am a wood turning fool when I get going. Uh, Check this bad boy out. Look at that. So this is honey locust. It's 5 pounds. This is a 5 pound. Just oh oh. I turned this guy. This is going to be my timber framers mallet. And then this is red elm, rock elm. I turned these little joiners mallets. Um, I took this tree down in Atlanta with my father-in-law. Um, Years ago, I made this out of the same tree. I just carved it, and it was so dang hard. I just used hand tools. I couldn't really do anything else. But I used a lathe to turn this. I just got a big old Delta lathe from like the 50s or 60s, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun. You know, um, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun. I'd love to make big old mallets like this lignum vitae one here. Lignum vitae is a really cool wood. I think it's the densest wood in the world, but it's not the hardest. I think the hardest wood in the world, if I'm remembering correctly, is quebracho. Um, Quebracho, which I've also worked with. I have a quebracho slick handle, timber slick handle in my timber framing box. Um, this is a great foreign hand made by Pick. They're Swiss. They just went out of business not that long ago. It's kind of a bummer. They just went out of business. I got this one. It's pretty nice. It's a nice foreign hand. Um, I like it. I like it a lot. So let's see where we're at. All right. And I'm trying not to crack the handle. And to hit it in the middle. Uh, I think we're gonna get her hafted. Look at that. Look at that. I cracked one on live recently. I have cracked like the last three that I've been working on. I mean, that's so, the reality of the situation is like, if you wonder why stuff got so basic, like in axes and tools and all kinds of other stuff, and you look at these handles from 100 years ago and you're like, man, it's got soul and it's got curve and it's nice. And oh, dogwood root ball? Oh yeah, dogwood is. I've never worked with dogwood. Oh yeah, locust is great though. Look, I'm catching up with the honey locust is amazing, and honey locust is not even as good as black locust. Honey locust is just a very popular residential tree, and so when a tree service takes it down, I can get it. Black locust is a little bit more rare. Um, But black locust is incredible. It's hardest wood. Oh, balake. That's right. So maybe it's like because they're measured in different ways too. It's like hardness versus density versus I think there's a couple different woods that are just like insanely hard. Like we have hickory that everybody uses, which is like 1800 Jonka. And it's like, dude, that doesn't even get you a ticket to ride the hardest, densest, heaviest woods in the world. I mean, it's like those woods are like 14 or 4,000 Jonka or something. It's insane. Yeah, black locust is harder than yeah, I think black locust is harder than a lot of those hickories, and it's a good cash crop too. A lot of farmers around here they plant black locust shelter belts, windbreaks, because they get tax breaks and incentives from the government. Like um they'll pay for the trees and then you can selectively harvest them because they're more rot resistant than cedar even. I should know better. I should be chamfering over this edge. Uh, Otherwise, we're gonna have some heartbreak. We're gonna have some heartbreak. Um, there's something to shock absorption with hickory. Yes, very true. Yeah. Hickory will it won't catastrophically fail, generally speaking, if I'm recalling this correctly. Because I was comparing Osage orange and hickory, and Osage orange is actually more prone to catastrophic failure than hickory. But my context to that argument is that you will have a much harder time getting Osage orange to catastrophically fail. It's just so tough. Balake is 5,000. Oh, that's insane. Gosh, and you know what? I'm reminding myself, I still need to Dremel over the edge of this. You know what? If you're gonna use a scrap piece of firewood to pop off your head like that, this is actually honey locust too. Honey locust is incredibly resistant to splitting. Kind of keep your pinky out the way. I just I did that earlier. So here's what I was saying with the Dremel. Maybe you guys have probably seen me do this with the Dremel. Um, Let me grab my power cord here. Yeah, like I said, man, I'm putting the miles on this dang tripod today. I'm sorry I'm walking around so much in the shop, but uh, such is such is my existing state of mind. Um, could be a great handle. American hornbeam is hornbeam. I'm trying to remember, and my shop is, of course, a bloody mess. Um, I'm trying to organize, but all right. So here's the deal with the bottom of the eye. Um, Dremel and a cone bit, and you just get after it. You just get after it. You know. I'm sure that was just horrible to listen to. Sorry, but you know what? I am going to use a little bit of linseed oil. on this. I don't normally use linseed oil, but um, when I'm using a handle that I cut out of a board, I don't want to crack the palm swell. I don't want to do that. And so the linseed oil I think is going to help coax it in and kind of prevent me from having to, here's where we're at now. We got that. Keep me from having to it totally mutes loud noises. We can't hear anything when you use a tool. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah. So we're just gonna trim this down a little bit on the front and the back. Yeah. Um, I really like a buck knife for this stage of the process because this clip point lets me just get real precise. One thing though I would like to try out is these Iwasaki handles from um oh, he's in Montana. What's the Stumptown Axes? That's right. I want to try out some Iwasaki files that he's got. Um, they look pretty good. All right, I'm gonna shape this down a little bit. Let me see. I might need to bring Paul Flanagan. Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, real great guy. Those files look great too. They just look really functional, really utilitarian and useful. And I'd like to try one of them out, but every time I go to buy one, they're sold out. So I just gotta do it. Every time I'm ready to buy one, they're sold out. And then I think to myself, when I could be using them, I should have just placed that order. But yeah, all right. So I think this is actually going to seat. There's an Aussie Pasarina that grows in Hawaii. They call it ironwood there. Oh, that's right. Isn't hornbeam called ironwood? Oh, I wanted to linseed oil it. That's right. All right, I'm not going to use too much. Just a little. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of linseed oil. All right. I'm going to crack it. I know. I know I'm going to do it. Don't crack. Don't crack. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. It's a little tighter than I thought it was. And it really wants to dive, but that might just be the pattern, honestly. It wants to dive forward. Okay, yes, bare hands. This is raw linseed oil. That's raw linseed oil. And I'm all about it. When I was a kid, my mom would give us spoonfuls of flaxseed oil. It's just linseed oil, you know. Um, she would do that, and so I love linseed oil. I really do. So here we are. We're just a little bit. We got some curly cues there, and I'm kind of tempted. I've only got but probably a half inch there. I use walnut oil for utensils, and it's great for the skin. Yes. Yes, that's why the axemen of old had baby soft skin. Baby soft. Yeah. I've got a great book about sawmill operation and logging in the Upper Peninsula. Those guys were. I just hit my finger again. Yeah, there we go. So was my dang left hand too. Um, yeah, well, honestly, like Kurt, my mom was just really kind of crunchy. Like she was always into like the newest health thing. And so here's where we're at now. And so we got she did the thing where you'd get the cones that you'd put in your ear. Oh, castor oil. Well, we did castor oil too. Uh but yeah, she did the things where you'd put the cones in your ear and then you'd light it on fire and it was supposed to create a vacuum that sucked out, your earwax, and she did all that stuff. And when I was a kid, we had um anytime one of her friends' kids got sick, they'd bring everybody around so everybody could get sick all at once. And yeah, my grandparents and great grandparents were very, very naturally minded well before their years. I mean, we're talking like in the 20s and 30s, they ran a health food store all the way through the 50s or 60s. And what's kind of wild is like they were kind of looked down on at the time because it was like, what do you mean you don't eat white bread? Don't you know that the white bread is what the rich people eat? And they would have just like hearty handmade breads with the whole wheat berry, and they were kind of like a little bit looked down on for doing that. How times have changed, man. Today it's like the exact opposite. If you were an affluent person, you would not uh you wouldn't want to be caught dead giving your kid white bread that everybody paid more for in the 50s. um the story of bleached bread is funny. Yeah, yeah, it is. Bleached bread also likes to explode. If you look up the St. Paul mills, a lot of the food mills like General Mills and all the big ones, whoever are still even around, those mills would blow up because the milling process would throw a lot of very fine um, particles into the air, and those particles loved to catch on fire. I'm looking for my hammer, my big ball peen hammer. We're going to use this guy, and I think that's going to help me knock the handle because I can hit it directly in the middle instead of just the whole thing with the mallet. So, ooh, ooh, listen to that pitch change. We're just about there. Wow, I am jammed up on something though, because we are really close to being half the poor people get the nutritious bread is crazy. Isn't that wild? Yeah, isn't yeah, my grandparents would say the whiter the bread, the sooner you're dead. I am a half inch from the edge. Yeah, you know what? Darn it. And this is why I'm trying to make templates and screw around. I made the eye just barely too, and I made it just a little bit too small. Here's where I don't care anymore. If I crack it, because I can just give her the beans. And if I crack it, maybe I even want to crack it a little bit because I'm not happy with it. I am hung up on something awful in that eye. I have not moved at all. No, I moved an eighth of an inch. I'm frustrated because I cut the eye. Just look at that. I need to give myself, and that's one of the lessons that I'm trying to learn before I like make templates and start making an axe. Because the shape is okay, and I still have to cut my sheep's my dove's fawn's foot there. Um, I'm actually pretty happy with the compression otherwise though. Yeah, working on the live is tough at the end of the day too, you know. But it's a poor carpenter that blames his tools and I suppose to an extent circumstances. So here's kind of what I really like about using a buck knife is the clip point lets me get a nice taper. It's hard to get a nice taper otherwise. Plus I think about that video of that Finnish guy, those Finnish guys that are working, and he's hafting his axe with a knife. And if it's good enough for the Finns, it's good enough for me. Did you guys know that sheep's foot, dove's foot, what are those feet? Gosh darn it. um, so we got a puppy and she's just not sleeping through the night at all. It's like having a baby again. It's crazy. And so I'm just for about 2 weeks now, I haven't gotten any sleep whatsoever. I mean, it's just nuts. She needs to go out like every hour, and oh my goodness. Sheep's foot, dove's foot, fawn's foot, elephant's foot. One of those flipping feet. A little bit ago, you were talking about how bad glyphosate was for the ground. I actually sell a product that is applied to farm ground that is just a food for the microbes in the soil. Ooh, see, that sounds amazing. I bet the government doesn't subsidize it though. That's kind of the crazy thing about farming is like, the joke kind of is you farm the subsidies. My grandpa was a rancher and he was always very hesitant to do anything with um anything like government paid. He was just kind of that generation where it's like, no, I don't want a check from the government. What's the government going to give me money for? My grandpa was very disabled from World War II, and he would not apply for disability. He wouldn't do it at all. He slept in a recliner for the rest of his life after World War II because he was working on planes. He was a mechanic in World War II, and he was working. They had open barrels of solvents and no ventilation, just in enclosed spaces, and they were working 24 hours, 24 hours on, 24 hours off shifts. And he passed out and fell off of a ledge and landed like in a solvent barrel, like so his bottom went into the solvent barrel, so the rim hit his back and hips, and he slept in a chair in a recliner the rest of his life, and you would not apply for disability. And my dad was so mad at him, and he was like, why won't you do this? That's what it's for. And he's like, nope. And then my other grandpa was at the Battle of Okinawa as a Marine. And he was like he was a, yeah, he was a big dude too. He was like 6'4". They gave him the BAR, the Browning automatic rifle, which was like a death sentence in Okinawa because, of course, the Japanese went for the guy with the BAR first. And I got just a bad ring at the top there. Um, but yeah, he was a pretty hardcore dude. Somebody had been smacking at this with a hammer, with a hammer, because it's definitely mushroomed. Never talked about the war. Oh yeah, neither of my grandparents did either. Neither of them. They were just like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't know why would I want to talk about it. But yeah, we'll kind of ease that over a little bit. Um, we're gonna get this dang thing hung. Yeah, and I remember, um, Brian, your dad was a machinist in World War II too, which my hand me that Dremel. Yeah, right. I would. It'd be amazing to see what you could do with it, because, man, I'm still amazed that you can sharpen a chain with an angle grinder as well as you can, Brian. That's just incredible. This is one of the toughest hangs that I have had. It just does not want. I think the inside of the eye is all cruddy. My grandpa was in the Aussie Navy in World War II. They were a different breed, those blokes. My young bloke is doing his basic training. Is he really? Wow, that's amazing. That's so cool. I mean, yeah, uh, it's interesting learning about the Australians in even in Vietnam, and particularly World War II, like going through the South Pacific with. I mean, there were times that the Marines were like looking at the situation, going, "Yeah, let's let the Australians handle that." And then the Japanese would be looking over at the front lines, of the allies, the US and whoever was there, going, "Oh shoot, they're sending in the Australians." Oh no. The Marines were bad enough, not the Australians. I am floored I haven't cracked this handle. Absolutely floored. Uh, oh yeah, Brian, you got to read about the Australians in World War II. You're in for it. If you, it's a fascinating read. Um, yeah, especially in the island hopping campaign, the Australians were. I mean, wow, um, pretty amazing. How has this not cracked already? I'm floored by that. I'm actually maybe a little bit hoping that it cracks, just because I kind of screwed it up. The eye is deformed. Look look at how much space there is at the bottom. This is bad. I'm upset. Look at that. Look at how much space there is at the bottom. Okay? But now look at the top. There's actually not as much space at the top as you would think there is. That's actually fairly tight at the top. So I don't know what um it's the eye, not the handle. I think the eye is malformed. I really do, because this is the right way, and I measured based off of the top, but the eye is. I got to put calipers on this. Let me. Where are my calipers? There we go. Or maybe just I'll. Yeah, it's a shim. Yeah, I could shim it too. Um. Oh, look at Kokoda. Ooh, I gotta write that down. Hold on, because the dang comments disappear after the live. I'm gonna write that down. I love World War II history, man. Like I really do. I love military history generally. I'm not a military guy. I did ROTC for 2 years in college, and then was like, I don't know. It was a weird time in my life. Sometimes I wonder how things would have changed if I just like went on through and commissioned, but I didn't. Uh, but my older brother did. Um, Oh, Gallipoli is the yeah, Gallipoli. Well, tell you what. How do you feel about Winston Churchill, Kurt? Yeah, Gallipoli was, gosh, his. Okay, so all right, so this is 2 1/4 on the bottom, 2 3/16 on the top. Okay, so it's actually less than I thought it would be, but the top is mushroomed over quite a bit. So I think if I could actually get all the way, that's wild. Yeah, this eye is definitely funky. The bottom, yeah, that's a solid 2 1/4 on the bottom. And then the top is, yeah, so it's at least a 16th smaller on the top, front to back. Um, calipers, calipers is a code word. I know. I gotta find them. They're around here somewhere. Again, I'm sorry to transport you guys again. But gosh, my shop is just in like such a sorry state too. I'm disgusted with myself. I need to fix it up. Um, but I just need to put like my high use tools. My wife's making me move stuff out too. So where are watch, they're just gonna be under a bunch of junk, and I'm gonna find it like the instant that I turn off this live. Um they're around here somewhere. Anyways, yeah, I gotta measure this eye because it's definitely we'll call it atypical. We'll call that eye atypical. That's what we'll do. So but I think I'm just gonna trim it a little bit more and I'm gonna hang it. Like I'm almost hoping that this handle cracks because um that Iran didn't get any worse. Kurt. Iran. Okay, I'm gonna get me started on the calipers are with the Walmart axe. Yes, they are. I will find them in the last place that yes, yes, I absolutely will. Gosh, I just yeah. So, anyways, all right. I'm just gonna take probably more off of here than I need to, just for the sake of getting this dang thing hafted. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to because we have to have to. All right. I just really like this stage of the process using a nice clip point knife. And I tell you what, like this, gosh, as much as I hate the fact that Buck is jacking up their prices, I just have not found anything that does what the Buck knife does. It's just a great profile. It does everything that I want it to do. It's just such a classic knife. Um, man, yeah, I think knife hafting is crazy. Doing it to yeah, well, this is Magna Cut, and it's a good knife. I mean it really is. Yeah, I'm in Wisconsin. Um, it's such a good knife. I mean, Buck does a great job. They they do a wonderful job with their heat treatment. You know, I think actually probably their heat treatment is one of their biggest liabilities with the 420 HC steel because people compare 420 steel to what Buck sells as 420 and it's not the same. It's just not the same. But it's like I don't know, if you have a really cheap cut of beef and you're trying to sell it like I don't know, maybe like you have a chuck roast and you're going to sell a steak from that chuck roast and you're like trust me, this is going to be one of the best steaks you've ever had in your life. It's chuck roast. And then the people say, "Chuck roast, that's a lean, cheap cut of beef." And you say, "Yes, but it's going to be delicious." And it is delicious, but people just can't, I don't know, in their mind, they just can't quite get over the fact that it's just 420. Um, Rehung a hatchet with a Leatherman and a folding saw. That yeah, see, you know what? Honestly, like Kurt, I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised in the slightest. In fact, I think you probably could have rehung it with just one of those tools and been just fine. Oh, wow. This thing is fighting me. This is just fighting me something fierce. Um, but we're getting there. And I actually took quite a bit off of that. We're gonna give her a little persuasion there. We're just gonna give it. This is a very dense piece of hickory. That's the one thing that's saving it. Kurt has a high tolerance for pain with the concrete timber he deals with. Yes, yes, yeah, you'd have to. I mean, my gosh. How has this not cracked? How have I not cracked this? That's unbelievable. This is actually one of the toughest hangs, and I'm doing it like a dummy live on camera. This is unbelievable. At this point, I don't know what's jamming me up, but something is. I'm not even getting curling at the bottom. Look at that. That's insane. I'm not even getting curling at the bottom. So at that point, do I just I don't know. This is we're gonna send it and it's gonna haft or break. Oh, my hands are all oily. I can't hold on to that. I can hear the audience. Throw your purse at it. Hit it with your purse. Yeah, there that went. Wow. I didn't do anything to it. That's unbelievable. Look at that, you guys. You see how hard I'm smacking that thing and it's not I have to do this for science. Honestly, I'm not even sure what I'm jammed up on. This is insane, you guys. Look at that. Look at that handle. What is stopping it? I've never had this happen before. That's so crazy. Is the inside of this eye just that irregular? Oh. Oh, interesting. Hit it with your purse. Have your wife's boyfriend hit it a few times. No. Look at this. Oh, let's see if I can get it. Look at that eye. Look at those nubs in there. I almost wonder. Look at that. This is a crazy eye. I've never. I honestly don't even know what is. But look at this. Look at this right here. Look at that nub. I think that's one of the things jamming me up. That is so wide. The taper on this eye is huge. I need to find my calibers. Um, no, here they are. Here they are. I found them. It is a wonky eye. This is a crazy eye. So let's measure. All right. .605 inch. I'm going to do it in mil. All right, we'll zero it out. All right, 15.31 mil, and I think there is a ridge. So 15.31. 16 points. 16.95. Okay. That's got to be some of the ridge here. I'm going to grab a file. I never measure. I just say in my head that I'm worse at hafting than I thought. Metrics are the only way. Well, I know. So, especially with stuff like this, metric is just easier because, it's like, you got to remember 0.305 inches. And it's like, what even is that? Um, like, I don't know. I went to public school. um, where were we at the bottom here? I need to, of course, now my hands are all oily. Um, metric, metric. Oh, this one's all bloody from my. Waving the bloody paper towel. He is. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I almost wonder if it isn't inevitable that we switch over to metric. I mean, I love imperial in a lot. I like a hostage. I've grown to love it. Um, but metric in a lot of ways is just easier. Like I mean, once you learn fractions, it's yeah, we're numbskull to switch to metric. Well, in a lot of ways, it's like, well, I'm sure there's part of that for sure. Apparently, the guy that was gonna explain metric to the Continental Congress, his ship sunk while it was going to Philadelphia, and so we never even considered metric. Oh, look at that nub. Okay, let's get rid of that nub. I think this eye is just super funky, super goofy. Every now and then you just run into something like that. Uh, and there's just no, you know what, guys? If I was doing this on a long form content video, I'd be done in 30 seconds and I'd edit out everything that didn't go perfectly. All right. All right. We're going to have to. We're going to have to. Um, Alpine. Ha ha! Ha ha! We have halved. I got just a little curling in the front there. Um, yeah, 30 inches or 76 centimeters. What's a centimeter, Brian? Is that no, I'm not even. All right, and you know what? I think actually that's the most I'm gonna. Oh, these are gonna get me. These are gonna get me. All right, all right. That's that's what we're gonna do there. We're gonna have to. No, that's too small. Eh, what? Eh, I think that ought to get her. Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's not too shabby. One of the things that I need to get, one of these days, is a 10 millimeter. Yes, thanks, man. Uh, I need to get a like some kind of a sanding. apparatus. I I love No, you're not gonna get me to say that, Kurt. You can't trick me. I went to public school, but I'm not that dumb. No. I almost said it too. I almost said it, Kurt. It's so funny. All right. So we're gonna get her. Yeah, let me see here. Let me see if here, I gotta show you guys something. I can't pick it up. Look at that. Look at that. Oh no, that's a guy. That's your username? How did you convince YouTube to let you have that? That's too funny. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh, see, I need to trim this. Whose live stream is this? It's not mine anymore. They took it away from me. Oh my gosh. That is insanity. All right. Uh let's see if I can get this. Man, the kerf on this hatchet is so small now. There we go. There we go. There we go. We got it. Oh, did I bottom out? I don't want to bottom out. You know what? I think I actually might need to deepen my kerf. Uh, I'm glad I caught that now. Don't hit my finger. Oh, there we go. Nope, I need that. Yeah, my kerf needs to come down. Um. Oh wait, this isn't the end. This is 75% of handle making. I know. I know it is. It is. Uh, there we go. I love this ripsaw so much. It's a distant. Um, oh, it's just beautiful. Okay. Uh, and see, there's the one little bit of curling that I got. And I can take that down just a bit. So did that guy just like show up and then leave? Or is he still here? That's oh my gosh, that was the wildest thing. That's so crazy. Just with the username like that, you could just like show up and then yeah, drop some bombs and then leave. Holy cow. Thought I got it down further last time. That might be it. That might That might be it. Uh, you know what, guys? This is not going to be my best work, but I hope this does work. All right. There we go. Let's see if I can just kind of pop open this. All right. Oh, I'm going to put it on the concrete. Let's see what that does. Oh, nope. That's as far as that's going. All right. Uh, man, this toe goes up enough. I don't want to mess with my saw. All right. Never seen that for a mallet, just round or square mortise. Yeah. So this one is a through. Could you imagine drilling this hole? This is a through mortise. It's not tapered. The wedge was loose. I had to rehang it. It's just it's a beast of a mallet. You know, they were used in heavy industry before we had synthetics that that could take that kind of impact. Friction fit. Yep. Yeah. It's very much friction fit. Um, Lignum vitae is self lubricating too. It's got so much oil in it. Do I have any sandpaper around here? If you threaded it, no, I didn't thread it. My gosh, I would love to see the equipment that could thread lignum vitae. Oh, sorry. This is lignum vitae. This is the wood that they used to make these. Incredibly heavy, dense tropical wood. They used it before, like really heavy industrialization, where we had metals and things like that, because it could take a lot of abuse. And it's self lubricating, so you could put it in places and really not have to worry about it, like especially underwater. Like it'd be used for a lot of underwater industry applications, like drive shafts and things like that. Trackstar, what's up, dude? So let me find a piece of sandpaper and there we go. Trackstar. This was the easiest hang I've ever had. Easiest hang I've ever had. It didn't take me long at all. I had no difficulties. It was just really a professional job. And you should know that, Trackstar. You should know that. All of my hangs are easy. We got a little oh, some goobers there. Yeah. So here's the crazy thing. Um, it looks like there's a gap here, but there isn't. I don't know why. That's a shadow trick. It's driving me nuts. I can't. It looks like a gap, but there's no gap there as I look at it here. Not at all. Where there is a gap though is right there, which is driving me nuts. I'm gonna shim it. Gosh, but that's a dang huge shim. That's the craziest eye that I have ever seen. Look at how if I could shine a light down there, you would see how look at that. I can put a pencil in there. Um Lignum vitae in Kephart. Ooh, does it grow around Smoky in Tennessee? I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of a wood that they called lignum something or other. I'm not familiar with it from Horace Kephart. This stuff I think is tropical. Yeah, Brian, right? Like I'm not. Isn't that crazy? That's wild because there's no gap on top, but there's just this huge gap on bottom. I personally don't understand it. I personally do not understand it. But yeah, I mean it should be pretty solid. Shimmed and forgot about it. Shimmed and forgot about it. You guys want to, gosh, I don't know if you guys are happy to hang out. I'm happy to hang out. I could put an edge on this axe here with the angle. Now I'm no Brian Two Bears with an angle grinder. Gosh, you have to one of these days if you can do a gosh sharpening up that chain with an angle grinder is so cool. Like I'm sure I just have the saw totally disassembled and in pieces if I tried it, but um, gosh, that's so cool. I would love to just see that. Where are my? Here they are. All right. So we're gonna throw a. There we go. Let's put it on the right way. All right. I'm trying to find you live. Okay. So here we go. I'm gonna throw an edge on this axe real quick. I'm gonna do a banana grind the Peter McLaren way. Peter McLaren, the famous Aussie axeman. Um, let's see here. I can't find my marker, but basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna banana grind it. All right, let's see. I don't know if I can find a piece of wood here. Very cool. I got a bucket around here. It's still pretty cool, but just so you know, we don't tempt fate. Let's let's dripper. Let's stick it in a bucket for a second there. The hand clamp. Yeah, the hand clamp is a totally valid method recognized in the industry. But just missing some sandals, you know. Uh, let's see where we're at as far as the angle goes. Um, where's my yeah, there we go. It's over there. Let me grab my bevel gauge. Grab the bevel gauge here. Yeah, the hand clamp. I don't know. It's always worked for me. I'm wearing chainmail underwear. Yes, protecting all nails. 22 and a half. 22 and a half. Actually, yeah, we're gonna go a little bit further. All right. Soft top convertible sandals. Yes. Yes, exactly. Okay, so why did I unplug that? I don't need to unplug that. Okay, so we're switching to stun. The phasers are switching to stun. I'm going to switch over to my flap disc, and this basically just evens it out. And then from that point, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on whether I switch to a hand file or whether I stick with the flat disc. The latch is broke though, so you can't take the top off. Yeah. The flap disc actually gives you a pretty decent finish. Pretty decent finish. So we're gonna. I don't know what grit this is. I bought a bunch of Chinese flap discs, and they didn't print the um the grits on any of them. They put a little sticker on them, and so if I lost the stickers, and I have no idea what what grit anything is. Yeah, but there you go. I mean, that's not half bad for a flap disc. There's the other side there. Now, the trick with the Peter McLaren method, if they didn't wear so quick, we'd all be angle grinding everything. Yeah, I know. Um, Peter McLaren, right. Oh, the Peter McLaren thing. The trick is you stay off of the first half inch of the bit flat a good ways into the bit. And then from there, um, and I think I am gonna hand file this. Not with that dull file. I just bought that one. Does that one? I pay like a buck for these files. Unless that's crazy hard steel. All of these are. That's unfortunate. I'm not sure all those files are dull. Um, this might just be really hard steel. Let's give it a shot here. Banana grind. Uh, ooh, look at that. Oh well, but I usually banana grind with a file. Um, I usually do. No, I'm not live every day. You know, my wife kind of hates it when I go live, so I have to do it at night. Um, I make my grilled cheese at night too when I go live. He's making them at night, Dad. No. um, yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's not too bad. I got a little work to do on the toe there. There's some damage there. 30 times faster than somebody. Yeah. Night garage for the win. Yes, night garage. Um actually ooh, tip on the diamond file. Ooh, okay. Works for getting a good scratch pattern started on hard steel. Okay. Oh, yes, yes, that's right. Um, yeah, and the nice thing is those diamond files are cheap too. You can get them at any hardware store. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's fantastic. Um, so let me see here. Let me get so I got like a 320 grit diamond plate here. Yeah, I mean, Kurt, I definitely think it's right. Like once you get the scratch pattern started, everything files easier, doesn't it? I mean, that seems to be the case where just getting a file to start is half the battle. What do you guys think about channel memberships? YouTube wants everybody to do that now, and I don't want to do it. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, Kurt, I've found sometimes it's really nice to buy things from an industry uh that just has more scale to it, you know? Like it's buying things specifically for the axe world, you're always going to pay out the nose. And so if you can kind of find the same technology that you want from a different from something with a little more economies of scale, that works out really well. Like buying special purpose tools is just so rough. What's up, Trackstar? Yeah, but Brian, I think that the banana grind is one of the best grinds out there. Um, yeah, I haven't either. I don't want to do it. Like to me, I really hate that YouTube is becoming just that. Gosh, this steel plate is so dang heavy. Like I have to struggle to hold it. I wonder what that weighs. Let me see. What does that weigh? Oh, it's actually so heavy, my little scale can't measure it. um, I joined Killinger, but I think you lost interest. Yeah, I mean that's the that 30 pound. Yeah, I think you're probably right. 30 pound is about right. Um, like I hate when I go onto somebody's channel and it's like members only video. Like I don't want to do it. You know, I get that some people do it or need to do it. Um, I'm not a new YouTuber track star. I've been on YouTube, I think, over 5 years now. Um, but I really just enjoy it. Like I'm really resisting the monetization of it. You know, like I just don't want to. I don't want to go down that road any more than I have to. Um, because I don't want to work for YouTube. Yeah. The the banana grind is awesome. Like it's so great. I really like it. It's I think it is the best grind. Like I do. I think it is the best grind. Wow, dude, Brian, you're still on the 4,000 watch hours. That's such a hard limit. Yeah, yeah. Brian Two Bears 9 years. That's amazing. It's been 9 years. Wow. Yeah. So you've seen a lot in those 9 years in the axe world. Did you start out doing when did you start doing axe content, um, Brian Two Bears? Because we've got Brian and Brian Two Bears. It's like being in school when it's like we have Adam H and Adam, S. I have a weird name, so I never had to share a name with anyone. My name's Stuart, and there was never another Stuart I've never met. I meet so few Stewarts. It's like, and then Stuart Little came out when I was a kid and just basically ruined my childhood. Oh, you're Stuart like the mouse? No. Mm. Aha! Elk's knee, moose toe, I fawn's foot. Yeah. Wow. So right, that's Brian. Brian is crying. Yeah, right. I got one guy. I got people called me Soup when I was a kid. This is like way back into the memory vault. Some people, no, one guy. This guy was such a twit. He was way older than I was, so I couldn't do anything about it. But he called me Soup because my name's Stuart, and so of course I've never gone by Stu, but some people would say Stew, and then it became beef stew, and then he was like Soup. So so that's the progression. Yes, the sheepdove, elk, coyote, fawn's foot done. Yes, yes. So one guy called me beef stew, and yeah. So I think I need to thin her down just a little bit. Um, but so I just enjoy YouTube as like a hobby to do and a place to share knowledge. You're going to be Soup from now on. I know. Well, I'm 36 now. This was, I think, when I was 14. Um, Elk don't know how many feet a horse has. Yeah, exactly. So, where's the original handle? You guys are gonna see it and go, "Whoa, buddy, you made that way worse. Put the original back on." But here's kind of the here's now you can see the changes that I intentionally made are mostly the pocket in the back. How do I subscribe to your channel? Well, you can just click on my name, I think, and hit subscribe. I think that's how you do it. That's good. Oh, I appreciate that. I really like kind of this space back here. That I think is the most underutilized part of an axe handle. Because like with my hands, I mean, I've always kind of had like a big, like a meaty heel. Like I should do pancrats. What do they call it? Where all you can do is like, heel of your palm, bop them. Um, but this space right here, it gives that part of your hand room to fit. And then it creates a mechanical connection that allows you to have a better grip without making this part of your axe handle so fat. I think one of the, yeah, I don't want to like start a thing, but I really don't like the crazy thick palm swell era that we had a little while ago. All the palm swells just got huge, and those hurt my hands. Those thick palm swells hurt my hands because if you have like a 2-inch palm swell on your axe handle, it's connecting with this outside part of your palm. I don't have calluses on this part of my palm. It doesn't ever get contact with the tools that I grip, and so I would always get hot spots on the side of my palm. Um, oh, Boss Rutan. Yes, Boss Rutan. What did you hit? Oh, who hit what with their card? Did I miss something? Uh, I feel like I missed an important content, a comment. Yeah, I don't know. Wouldn't be the first time. But actually, so here's where I really like the buck knife in particular, um, because it has a clip point. That clip point there allows you to scrape without digging into the handle. I really like that feature. It's so nice. This is going to be a skookum handle because I hit it about 9,000 times with a ball peen hammer and it didn't crack. So I think this is going to be a good handle. Um, I want to do more camping. I wanted hickory smoke is great. Yes. Oh, I'm walking through the bush at the moment. Whoa. Yeah. What are you working on today, Kurt? Cutting trails or thinning trees? The card scraper gathers dust because we can just scrape with almost anything. Uh oh, do you ever have a problem with those wild dogs out there, Kurt? Are they like kind of are they ever aggressive? Like I suppose they're probably scavengers to an extent, and a full-grown guy maybe is not their primary target. But like if there was a kid out there, I wonder. Oh, thanks, Trackstar. I appreciate it. Like in my area, really the only thing that we have to worry about is black bears. Black bears. We have, I guess we have cougars now too. Cougars are kind of back. We have wolves, but not more. The wolves are more very up north, and no grizzly bears. Grizzly bears are the ones that you really got to worry about. Um, the thing that's interesting though is I was doing firewood earlier, but I've been hiking since you started the live. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Good to be out there. I got to get out there more. I Yeah. So in terms of like wildlife that's kind of dangerous around here, um, if you're gonna have a problem with a grizzly bear, like it's usually because you surprised one or a mom's got her cubs. Black bears, though, if you're gonna have a problem with a black bear, it's because they want to eat you. That's the wild thing about black bears. Um, oh, he must have heard, stood for a bit, and then bolt. Oh, I bet that was kind of cool to see him out there. But yeah, like black bears are a species that will actually hunt people for food, which I think is kind of wild. A lot of people don't realize that. It's usually a solitary male black bear, but they will absolutely hunt people for food. Whereas a grizzly bear usually won't unless it's very, very hungry. Like if it's in the late season or the early season and they don't have adequate food. This handle has some character to it. Kurt, are you doing much bucking lately? I have to say, your bucking skills have always been incredibly inspirational. Like I watch Tim Gent, I watch Brian Two Bears, and your channel is absolutely your bucking skills are amazing. I am always in awe. And then the cinematography on the videos too is always so neat being able to see the Australian bush. Yeah, I really like to scrape with with a knife. It just really does get everything nice. I'd rather have bears than snakes. Although yeah, yeah. Well, when I was in Georgia, we had the cottonmouth and copperheads, and there were a whole bunch of snakes. In Wisconsin, we have timber rattlers. That's it. We have timber rattlers. That's it. Tendonitis. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's awful. That's one of those things too where there's not really a treatment for it. It's just that's so tough. Like I've heard of people doing cortisol shots, but that's about it. Tendons are God, tendons are tough. Um, should I flame it? I wonder. Stinging nettle. Oh, really? Wow. I love bears though. I grew up in Tennessee and have been around black bears all my life. I love to go to Yellowstone and see the grizz. Ooh. Oh, what's up? Hello, fellow Wisconsinite. I'm gonna char it. I'm gonna char the handle. Yeah, I'm gonna grab my torch. I'm a madman with the torch. The redwoods are amazing. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Going out to Montana and Canada to stay in the bush would be amazing. Yeah, that would be something. I have a brother, Kurt, that's up in Alaska. and that is an incredible state. But holy cow, is it ever hard to get there? To get to Alaska from where I'm at, I can actually get to London, England in just as much time. It's the same amount of time, whether you're going to Anchorage or Heathrow in England. I'm just going to try that handle a little bit. Ooh, it's getting hot, hot, hot. Cool it down with some linseed oil. The heat will help it soak in. Hot, 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 hot. Still very hot. Put a little on the top. Look at that. It didn't turn out too awful. John Muir. Um, oh, what takes so long to get to Alaska? Well, it's Kurt. It is so far away. It is so far. I mean, um, Canada is huge, and you have to go from where I'm in, Wisconsin. You have to fly all the way to the West Coast into Seattle, and then from Seattle you have to fly like a good ways up across Canada. And then Alaska's huge. And so you have to fly through Alaska up to kind of, not quite the interior going to Anchorage, but getting there, it's unbelievable how long it takes. Um I mean, and my older brother, he's in the army. He's stationed up in Alaska. He was stationed in Fairbanks, which Fairbanks is in the interior. And so after you get to Anchorage, you have to fly another 2 hours up to Fairbanks, or I guess you could drive, but it's just like incredible. So we got the axe handle. Um, I'm not loving the light on my camera, but it turned out all right. Boy, what a struggle it was to hang it. That was unbelievable. The first stitches I ever got were doing this with a knife. I think I was 12. I just shot my first buck, and I gutted it and picked up like something, and I just went zoop, and I had my buck 105 and just sliced. I went actually I still have the scar. Yeah, that's right. On my I can't remember what I was doing to do it, but yeah, just all the way across the knuckle right down to the bone, had to get stitches. We were like an hour and a half from the hospital. Um you thought you could fly from Wisconsin straight to Alaska in one flight. Yeah, that would be nice, but you have to actually what we have to do is fly from Wisconsin to a connecting hub, which is usually Denver, and then we fly from Denver to Seattle, and then from Seattle to Anchorage, and then from Anchorage to Fairbanks. And so when we flew up to see my brother the last time, we had all three of our kids, and at the time they're still little, but they were really little. I think it took us 18 hours to get up to Fairbanks. Um, oh, I want to drive to Prudhoe Bay. Wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah, Fairbanks is really interesting. I run a 100-meter dash, and my time is 17.94. You know what? And honestly, I'm not sure that could be the fastest time in the world. And, and I'm not sure. I did others. I threw shot put when I was in high school. Yeah, 18 hours, Kurt. It was crazy. And granted, that's not all like time in the air. Um, but the layovers were insane. I Yeah, it was hard to get. I mean, it's kind of a bummer because I don't I don't see him very much anymore because it's so hard to get up there, and the tickets are about $5,000 from Wisconsin. That's what you end up paying. Um, is darn near for my family of five with bags and fees and all the various ways in which the airlines take their pound of flesh. You end up paying roughly like 800 bucks a person to get out there. But he's been married for a while. He's got a little girl now, and my kids haven't met her yet, which is a problem. I ran a 7-minute mile in middle school and retired from movement. 7 minutes. Now I think that's actually pretty respectable, as I recall, for for just a dude off the street. 7-minute mile. I don't think it's terrible, is it? When I was in ROTC, I always in college, I always struggled with the 2 mile time. That was my hardest thing. And I'm kind of like a bigger chested guy, so the push-ups were pretty tough too. But I got to the point where I could do over 100 push-ups in the I think they gave you 2 minutes to do your push-ups at the time. That was the PT test they were using. They've changed it since. But we did push-ups, sit-ups, and a 2 mile run, and I could get a perfect on the PT test. But I always struggled with that 2 mile run. That was always really tough. My arms are super long, and so my push-ups are it's just more work than a lot of these little guys with like shorter arms would just crank these push-ups out like they were nothing. And I'm like, hey man, I'm doing twice the distance with my push-ups. So, you know, cut me some slack. You're going to Hawaii? Whoa. I want to go to Hawaii. Take me with you. Um, yeah, so I don't know. Here she is. It turned out okay. It's not my worst nor my best work, I would say. We get some more linseed oil on it. I'm curious to try out this grind. Ooh, I got a little bit of work on the toe yet as far as sharpening, but down by the heel, it's not too bad. Um, Gosh, well, I gotta take our new puppy out. I suppose she gets up about twice a night. Um, yeah. So here we go. Here's the hatchet. We got the banana grind on it, and this is a real good time, you guys. I had I had a blast. I just really enjoyed myself. Um, so let's do this again soon, guys. Um, all right. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna sign off then. Thanks to everybody for hanging out. Like I said, man, this was a good hang, and let's do it again. So Kurt, Brian, AJ, Malcolm, Trackstar, everybody who's still here, Brian Two Bears, if he's still here, Appalachian Axeman, I'm assuming has bowed out by now. But yeah, everybody, we'll catch you on the next one. So, all right.